And of course, I'm going to teach you how to stop it. I want you to watch this clip and observe my defensive shape. The only way your opponent can score from an open play like this is if he managed to penetrate your defense. And the only way he can do that is if he's able to get into an open space you have in your defense. So, if you want to be able to defend those space against a good attacker, you need to master these 3 techniques I'm about to teach you. You should know that the second technique is likely the most hardest and the most important because it's going to decide the whole thing. The first technique is the jockey and sprint jockey. To cover any space or stop your opponent from getting into your box, jockey is the technique you're going to use. To perform jockey, hold L2 or LT to activate your jockey, then move your player with left analog. Jockey is going to reduce the speed of your player, and in some situations, you'll need to be fast when using jockey, so you can hold your sprint button and L2 together to use sprint jockey. Whenever you're trying to stop your opponent from penetrating inside your box, you need to be moving with your jockey always. So, what are you going to do with the jockey? You need to stay in front of the ball holder no matter what he's doing. You need to calm and don't rush to tackle him, because if you miss the tackle in a position like this, it's most likely that your attacker is going to score. You have to be extremely careful and wait for the perfect time to tackle. The perfect time to tackle is when your opponent takes a heavy touch, or when you're close enough to him that if you make a tackle, you're going to win the ball back. When I said tackle, I mean stand tackle, not slide tackle. There are 2 types of stand tackle. You can perform the simple stand tackle by pressing your shoot button. You can perform the hard stand tackle by holding your finesse button, then press shoot. So the main objective of jockey is to stay in front of your opponent and deny him a free passage into your box, or staying front of him in case he decided to shoot, and you're going to block the shot. And lastly, staying in front of him to wait for the perfect time to tackle. Now the second and the most important technique is your switching. The reason this technique is the most important is because you can only perform jockey or any other defensive technique if the cursor is on the right player. Firstly, let me show you my defensive settings. First thing you need to change in your switching settings is the automatic switching. Never use automatic switching when playing. Only use it for loose ball and on air ball. That's where automatic switching is much needed. Stop switching cursor with L1 or LB. You need to start using right stick switching. The sooner you start, the better. There's no escaping it. If you really want to improve your defensive gameplay, learning right, stick switching is a must. To use right stick switching, flick your right analog to the direction of the player you want to switch the cursor to. The benefit of using this right stick is because you can use it to switch cursor to any player of your choice, instead of switching with L1 or LB. Using L1 will only switch to your nearest player, and sometimes that's not where you need to switch your cursor to. Switching to the right player is a very underrated skill in the game. Whenever you're defending in your box, you have to be fast with your switching. Sometimes you can even switch to your player near the possible pass receiver before your opponent play the pass. If your opponent is passing on the edge of your box, trying to penetrate your defense, you need to be switching quickly to your nearest player to the ball holder to be able to use jockey and stay in front of him. Lastly, the second man press. Using second man press is one of the best trick you can use while defending at edge of your box. You can activate your second man press by holding your finesse button. There will be green indicator on your player, and the player will be controlled by AI. The AI will start pressing the ball holder while you can control the player with red indicator. The pressing will only last for 5 seconds, and once the time is up, the AI will stop pressing. So you need to switch your player and use it again. There's still more tutorials coming for this FC25, so make sure you like this video and subscribe for more. Thank you.
Long way out. It's in. And of course.